Hi, it's me coming on to the episode a little bit early to apologize for something. So we realized Kerri and Kerri's on this episode, so surprise. But we realized that we made a really unfortunate error. We said something that I don't know if we ever can take it back, but in an effort to be fully transparent and authentic with you guys, because you guys have supported us so much over the years, we just wanted to present it in full and not edit it out, not try to change anything, because we really pride ourselves in just sort of, recording and never really having a clean edit in the middle, like, or changing things around because you guys are our friends and we want you to be a part of our conversation. So we feel really, really badly about something that we said on this episode. And that's why I'm here right now for both myself and for Kerri to, just apologize. So we forgot about Rose's wedding dress. It's really hard for me to even say this. We were talking about great wedding dresses and stuff. And then on the episode, we were musing over why Rose never had a wedding dress on the Golden Girls. And, we made it all the way to the Rusty Anchor happy hour, which you can go listen to on our Patreon. And we realized that in the moment, as we were about to discuss all of the great wedding dresses that have appeared among the girls on the Golden Girls, we recognized that, oh my God, Rose did, in fact, wear a wedding dress. It was during A Little Romance, one of the most iconic episodes of the show, in her dream sequence. And we fully forgot about that wedding dress. And so we hope that you can forgive us. And we hope that this won't change the way you think about us or how you listen to the show, because it was an honest mistake. And it's a serious one in the Golden Girls community. And we take this community very seriously. So thank you for being a friend. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of the show.
Picture it, Los Angeles, 2026.
Oh, welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines. I forgot who I was there for a second.
I'm new mother once again, Kerri Doherty, and today we're bringing you another Golden Rewind where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of The Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. And it's time to pilfer all the cheese balls and shout from every rooftop in Miami, "My son-in-law's a doctor!" because we just rewatched season 1, episode 2, Guess Who's Coming to the Wedding. It's so good to be back.
Right? Isn't it? We because last week Barrett was on, as you know, and we
You two had a
watched.
really good chat. I enjoyed that conversation.
But we watched also an episode from season 1. So it's sort of like, season 1
I
era this
know.
month.
And then we did the operation. We're hitting a lot of season 1s.
I know,
I'm okay
maybe
with that.
I mean, yeah, I don't think we go back to season 1 enough. So maybe let's keep this trend going, I guess.
I know. I'm here for it.
I am too.
I love this episode so much. To me, this is a perfect episode of television. I feel like what this says about the Golden Girls, when you're deciding what you're going to do for your second episode, I feel like that can
Yeah.
be stressful. Like I've worked on shows, I've watched this conundrum play out. People tune into the pilot because it's a new show, they're
Mhm.
curious, and an audience will give a show 2, maybe 3 episodes before they decide if it's something they're invested in. Like your
Mhm.
second episode can determine if your audience is going to stick with you or abandon you.
I had a question for you about
And this was a
this.
great episode. Yeah.
Because I know there's a story about the order of the first few episodes and how I think I remember reading in Jim's book or something, I forget, but I don't know if this was intended to be the second episode. I remember there being something about one of the early episodes not being intended to be like the early episode or something. Do you know what I mean? Does that do you
Quick. Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, text Marsha Posner Williams. She'll know.
okay.
It is entirely possible that this wasn't meant to be the second
Mhm.
episode to air, and that after they were shooting them, they were like, this would make a really good
Because
episode.
it's so like what's interesting about it, and I went back and just sort of looked at the episodes of Friends and like other first episodes of ensemble shows,
Hmm.
and they both I thought maybe it wasn't like that, but it was that like they also focused on essentially one character in an early episode, which is I thought was kind of rare. Like, because this to have Dorothy be such a prominent storyline in this episode. The other girls all have parts to play in it, but this is definitely a Dorothy episode, and I could imagine watching it, like, it gives the impression, "Oh, this is B. Arthur's The Golden Girls, not necessarily The Golden Girl." You know what I mean? And it seems like it could
Yeah.
set an impression, sort of like with Friends, that
Mhm.
it's Ross and Rachel's friends, not Friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had that same observation. I think it was intentionally a heavy B. Arthur episode. You know, she was the most famous. She had this built-in audience as a woman with her own show.
Mhm.
And, you know, obviously Maude, you know, a lot of those main stories focused
And
around
then
her. It was
there's
her show.
Maude.
And then there's Maude. So I think, you know, this episode, it was going to be a very character driven episode that really spoke to the situations of women of a certain age. You know, with
Mhm.
Dorothy, she was bitterly divorced with adult children. You know, what better way to throw her into conflict than to force her into a situation where
Mhm.
she's going to have to interact with her ex husband while trying to keep her shit together for the sake of her daughter?
Well,
Um,
and
and
a
yeah, I think
and
I think that
introducing
yeah.
introducing these other characters, like,
Mhm,
under like, that's the other thing that's strange too. In the second episode, they're introducing new characters that we're
mhm.
just getting familiar with these 4 women, and all of a sudden, we have this one man who's very prominent in this episode, who will go on to be very prominent in the show. But, like, that seemed pretty bold to me too.
Yeah, but I think at the same I do think it's a bold thing. I think that, you know, at the end of the day, this show reiterated what the series is about. 4 women who, no matter what they're going through in life, always have each other to lean
Mhm,
on for support. We really see it with, you know, Blanche, or Dorothy has a little chat with Blanche when she doesn't want to go to the wedding, and then
mhm.
for the reception afterwards. You know, she kind of ducks out early, and Sophia's the one to have a chat with her. Rose is too busy really worrying about those cheese balls the whole time. That's her
She's
whole thing. And I
very
think that's
concerned, which
very, very funny.
I can relate to this, and we'll talk about it during the episode, but if I bring a
Okay.
dish if I bring a dish, I want people to know that I brought it, and I want people to compliment it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I would
There's
get
also
stressed
a
if
dish I wanna talk about too during the episode that I find, well, we'll get to it when we get to the cheese balls.
okay. But
Yeah,
yeah, all in all, I feel like this really was a solid choice for a
very.
second episode. You get that B. Arthur monologue at the end that lands with
Mhm.
such a
Which
punch. Like,
we have a special little treat we're gonna give at the end of this episode that no spoilers, but you wanna listen to the end. I'm just saying.
yeah, you wanna listen to the end.
No
We have a very,
skipping
very
this one.
special treat.
No being like, "These 2 won't stop talking," even though that's the point of the podcast. Like, just get to the end and there's
Yeah,
something very
stick
great for you.
stick with us. Don't go like, "I don't need their bullshit golden takeaways, trust me."
You know exactly, because I do think some people turn off on the golden takeaways. I don't know if you do, but I respect it because I turn off sometimes when the end of a podcast too. But I do wanna say I'm glad because you chose this episode, and I'm glad that you did because you don't know this, and I should have told you before we got on, but here we are. But I was messaging with a longtime, listener of ours. I don't think he would mind me mentioning him, but his Instagram account is The First Echo, and he's gonna be on because he and I often message about Herb Edelman and how I mean, he sees Herb Edelman on, like, Murder, She Wrote episodes or, like, these other shows, and we've been messaging back and forth about Herb Edelman a lot, and so
I love that.
we thought, I should say, and he's a culture nerd and creator and, like, very much in line with what we do, and and he's been at the live shows, you've met him before. I think so, at least. But, so we were talking about doing a Herb Edelman focused episode because I don't feel like we've given Herb the proper due that he's deserved in terms of
Almost like a
the
Beyond Golden Girls episode, but it's
yes,
like
but
beyond
it's
Stan.
exactly, like,
I
Stan
love that.
deserves a little bit of love, in my opinion, and I love Stan. Even though he was a schmuck, I love Stan so much, so I thought it would be fun to create an episode or
That's just
episodes
like a
with
Herb Edelman deep dive.
yeah, that's just
I
fun
love
Herb
that.
with a guest. Don't you think that's fun?
I love that. And you know what? That could be
Yeah.
something you do on one of your solo weeks when I'm
Oh, because
unavailable
you
because
have a baby. Not that
everybody's
you don't
sick
wanna
and
be there,
Stan is
make sure
traveling for work.
he would love to be able to do it with you, but I also we also understand that you have a children, Coco and little
Yeah. Oh
Oreo.
my gosh. I just have to give you a quick anecdote and then we'll get into what's going on in the Rusty Anchor happy hour. But um
Please.
so little Oreo was sick and Stan had to travel for work, and luckily his brother came over to help me, but I was on like no sleep because I was, like, doing the pumping at night and doing the feeding, and I'm like
Yeah.
there was, like, a stretch where I only got, like, 15 to 20 minutes of sleep at a time, like, I was literally trying to grab little pockets of sleep at night, and the next day, I went to go pick up little Oreo from school. I brought little Coco with me, I put her in the little car seat, and we now have a van. We
You
have
have
a
a van
van.
now? You got
We
rid of
have
wait,
a Sienna.
you had a Toyota Prius, a little
No,
Toyota
we still
Prius, if I
have the
remember.
Prius, but now
Okay.
we have a van because we have to because you can't
A
fit 2
van.
car seats in the tiniest
Wait,
Prius that they make.
can I? Because I can imagine you, no offense, but I can imagine you in a minivan, but it's very hard for me to picture Stan driving a minivan. So at some point, I'm going to need a picture of
You got it.
Stan driving that minivan.
You got it. So I go pick up pick up little Oreo from school. I've got Coco in the little car seat and their little click and little stroller, and we go and we pick her up. I put them both in the car. I roll the windows down because it's warm out, and I'm getting ready to pull out. And little Oreo goes, "Mommy, the door's open." And I look, and the slider is completely open. Would the van have let me drive away with the door open? I don't know, maybe. But luckily, my 4-year-old was like, "Mom, this isn't right."
What kind of van is it?
It's a Sienna? What brand is
What
that? I don't know,
I
hold
think
on,
that's
Is he sitting
Toyota.
down here? Babe, are
I
you
think
here?
it's
Oh,
is
he
it
was sitting here, he
Toyota's?
must have taken Coco upstairs.
I'm gonna Google
Maybe
it.
a
I think it's a
Toyota? I think it
Toyota. I
is it? It's
Sienna.
just a
Yes, it
Sienna, that's all I
is.
know.
It's a
Okay, great.
wow, that's so masculine of me to know that that's a
I
Toyota.
love that
Hey,
you know that.
bro. Hey, bro.
So anyway, so then I get the kids home and, I park the van outside, I get the kids inside, whatever, whatever. Stan
Yeah.
comes home like 2 days later and he goes to take the van and he goes, "Hey, did you know all the windows in the van have been down?" Because I just left them down. So I was like,
Do you
"Nope,"
park
but
do you have to park on the street?
no, I just did in this particular instance because I didn't wanna have to go down into our garage and then
Yeah, because
carry
it's
the
as a
baby
distance.
up
Yeah,
in the
no,
car
I
seat, so it was just easier to
makes
park outside.
sense. Yeah.
So anyway, so luckily Stan is back and I'm catching up on my sleep, although, oh, poor little Oreo, she had an earache, she had an ear infection, we had to go to the doctor today. She was like, "Please
Mm.
don't take me to the doctor. Can you take me to the mall instead and we go to the pretzel place?"
That's a girl after my own
I know,
heart.
she wanted a Nan Annie's pretzel.
Literally last week, I had this moment. I've been stressed with a lot of work things and life things, and I got to a moment where I was just like, "Fuck everything. I'm going to the mall." And guess what? That's exactly what I did. I went to the mall. I was stressed out by the world falling apart. It was the world falling apart. Stressed out by the
Yeah.
world falling apart. I wrote about it on my Substack. That I was just sort of like, I need to go look at mascara. Like I just need to
Mhm.
go look at mascara for an hour and a half. I need to swatch things on my arm and calmly look for mascara. And guess what I did? And I found a perfect mascara.
You
And I
great.
calmed down. I calmed down. I calmed
Will
down.
you do me a favor? The next time
Yeah.
you come to my mall, will you let me
Yeah.
know so you and me can go to
See,
Sephora and you can help me buy new makeup?
can I tell you this? Now, I'm not going
Yeah.
to say where this mall is or what mall this is because I don't want people to know where you live, but you live by a fancy mall.
Mm.
And so your mall is a treat. Your mall is, oh, it's an event. We're going to the
Yeah.
boom. You know what I mean? Like,
It's
where this
also
is
not
like,
super close to you.
well, it's not super close, but it's also like notoriously it's difficult to park at that mall. And you like how I'm like being careful of me saying the name, even though I'm like, no one will be able to find you. But still, but that mall is notorious in Los Angeles for there's comedy reels about parking in this mall.
That's so
So
funny. I didn't know that. I
yeah, yeah,
usually
yeah.
walk.
It's well, because you're so close. And
Yeah.
so yeah, no, but yeah, so yes, definitely, of course, we would yes, Sephora will happen. And we'll bring little Oreo and she'll have a day and she'll oh, I could get her
She would
some
love that. She does have her own little makeup kit.
oh, I know exactly what I would get her too. Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay. But yes, we should do that. We should for sure do that. But your mall is a treat. Your mall is a walk, snack, pretzel. I don't get the pretzel. I go to that the boba place and I get a little boba
Mm,
and
I love
and
the
walk
boba
around.
place.
The number, what it's like some number. I forget the name of the place. But it's by the Joe Malone store in the mall there. And I get that. And we walk around. Me, Michael, and Naomi. We walk around the mall. Michael has to go to Zara, which I just think is a very expensive Goodwill. because it's always just a mess and people are crazy and clothes are
I
everywhere.
love Zara. I haven't shopped
I
in
don't
Zara for so
understand
long.
it. Zara stresses me out, but I also really resent. This is not Golden Girls at all, y'all. Sorry. But this is for all of my bigger girls out there. There is something I resent from a store like Zara that stops their sizes at like an extra large. I resent it in this day and age. I resent it. I'm not saying you necessarily need to go to 5X, although I would support and love it and appreciate it. I'm just saying we live in a world where a 2X is a
Yeah.
very normal size to offer people. So maybe,
Mhm.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, Zara, let's be a little bit more inclusive. They have so many clothes that
Yeah.
it just seems like maybe you could have less clothes and more sizes. I agree
Yeah.
with you on that.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, we're off
okay,
topic.
that was lovely. So that's what's going on with us. But what's going on over at the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour over on our Patreon is what you really want to know about. So because today's rewind is a wedding episode, we decided that for the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, we're going to discuss and rank the girls' wedding dresses. Because if you remember,
Mhm.
Blanche has two, Dorothy has two, Sophia has one.
I'm so
Rose
surprised Rose
unfortunately
never
never had
had
a wedding.
one.
Yeah.
Wow.
We never got to see Rose in a wedding
Sad.
dress. But yeah, so we're gonna break those down. I'm very, very
I'm
excited to do
excited.
that.
I think we all
And
know the worst one.
I think we all know the worst one, and I think we all know the best one.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I
we'll
mean,
save
come
it.
on.
We'll save
We
it.
all know the best one.
We'll
I'm
save
just
it.
gonna
We'll
be
save
eating
it.
cheese and olives and grapes. This is my
Make
dinner.
sure this is a trigger from season 1 of our podcast. Make sure the mic is not near your mouth when you're chewing because people do not like that.
I know. I've learned. So
Okay, should we
that's
get
what
to the
we'll be
episode?
doing. Yes, let's get to the episode. But remember, you can go to patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast to sign up. And later on, I'm going to remind everybody all the great stuff you get when you sign up for our Patreon. But yes, for now, let's
Yeah,
take a
and we'll
break and
do a
get into
watch
the
along.
episode.
We'll do a watch along likely later this month,
Yes.
right? Don't
Yeah.
you think? We'll try. We'll figure it
Yes.
out. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Baby things in the way, but we'll figure it out. Okay, we'll be right back. Bye.
And we are back talking about Guess Who's Coming to the Wedding.
Which
So, yes,
is
please.
for the title reference is, I believe, I can't say for sure, but I believe it is a reference to the fantastic film Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, starring Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn.
Yes, that is what it is a reference to.
You should see that movie.
Thank you
It's
for that
very,
little
very
piece of
good.
trivia.
Sidney Poitier, Catherine Hooton, which is also
I wish.
Katharine Hepburn's niece.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, you are right out of the gate. You are so full of trivia.
I know things.
So, okay. So Dorothy is anxious because her daughter Kate's coming for a visit. She's bringing her boyfriend Dennis, who she's been with for 6 months. And I wanted to ask you, at what point in a relationship would you introduce a partner to your family?
Oh, good question. Pretty early on. I mean, not like early on, but like if we're going together for like a solid 6 months, that's a good enough time because I'm close with my family. I mean, I don't live near my family, but I'm close with my family. So I would like loop them into what's going on, and I don't go back to St. Louis often, but I would want him to come. Yeah. So early, I would say 6
Yeah,
months is a
6 months
sweet.
feels about
This
right.
makes sense,
And that's true.
right?
I guess like if you live closer to your family, it's probably
They
more
would
likely
know
that they're going to meet the person.
because I met
Um,
Michael's family before he met mine,
mhm.
just because they're closer. They're in the Bay Area, and my family's in Missouri.
Right, right. Yeah, I feel like I'm trying to think of like past relationships. I can't really remember. I just remember former God, this was probably like season 1 of our podcast, so like 10, 11 years ago. A former podcast guest of ours, Adam Newman. I feel like I introduced him to my family. We'd been dating a while, but then we had like a friend's wedding to go to. And I was like, well, you might as well meet everybody. Like, I think that's sort of like how that played out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, 6 months feels about. Anyway, so I was just curious. So Kate shows up. We get like the typical Dorothy greeting when one of her kids shows up, which is like, oh, baby, it is so good to see you.
I
We
know.
get
I
one of
wonder if
those.
that's her, like, kid voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It
think
seems
that's
like that's what she does with children.
yes, with her kids. I think that is a I feel like that's like a B. Arthur thing. I'm sure it just said like,
Mhm.
"Kate, it's so good to see you," and she does the "Baby, it is so good to see you," and she really adds the
Yeah,
flair to it. So
yeah.
this is obviously Kate number one, played by Lisa Jane Persky from Peggy Sue Got Married, from Coneheads. She's
Mhm.
wonderful in this episode. We love both the Kates.
We love
They're
both the
they're both
Kates, although
wonderful.
we
We
have a
obviously
preference for one
I
because,
know we did have Dina Freeman, Kate number two, on the podcast. Again,
just
join the Patreon if you want to hear
saying.
our full interview with her. She was
She was
fantastic.
fantastic.
So
Also an acting
Lisa
teacher if you have children.
Yes, if you have children in the Los Angeles area, you
Los
can check out Dina
Angeles.
Freeman Acting School. So Lisa
Mhm.
Jane Persky, I think now she's like a photographer. I feel like I found her on
Oh,
socials at one point and reached out and never heard back about having her on the
good for
podcast. So,
her.
you know,
She's busy
you
taking
know.
pictures.
I liked that Kate showed up without Dennis to
Mhm.
like make the announcement because I feel like it might have been a lot to show up with Dennis and be like, "This is Dennis. He's my boyfriend. By the
Well,
way, we're getting married." You know?
because there's a lot of like, I think there's a difference between introducing someone new into the mix and like setting someone up for that new person to come. You know what I mean? Like you kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to, if you have the opportunity, I think it does benefit you to, ease it in a little bit.
Yeah, I appreciated that Kate eased Dorothy into that and like she gave her a comfortable
Yeah.
space to have an authentic reaction. I
Yeah.
also noticed, I'd never noticed this before. Dorothy didn't introduce Kate to Rose and Blanche, which means Kate
Mm.
has visited them before, whereas
Yeah.
during Michael's first appearance, I believe he's introduced to Rose and Blanche,
I know. It
which
makes
lines
me
up
wonder,
character wise. So I
like,
feel
I
like
always
Michael
do.
is the kind of guy who doesn't come to visit.
Well, yeah, he's busy touring. He's a musician. I do wonder though how much time has passed since they moved in.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
true.
Like
Mm-hmm.
like because we don't really ever know that answer, at least not this early on, but, like, it seems like they've lived together for a minute at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Dorothy's willing to have a wedding at Blanche's house. Like, that's the
Mm-hmm.
level of friendship they have, so they clearly are
Yeah.
close.
I'd say they probably have lived together for at least a year.
Yeah, that makes sense, a
At
year.
least a year.
Yeah.
I love all these things we're always trying to figure out. We're like, now, like putting out our little like detective hats.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Kate
Rose's hair is this long, which means no.
Which means, though, at the season finale, when we watch The Way We Met and we look at Blanche's eyelashes. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Kate announces that the day after tomorrow, she and Dennis are flying to the Bahamas to get married. I love that Sophia makes the boldest of assumptions to be like, I got to get my culottes. Like, they're all invited
Yeah.
too. Like, in what
You know what's crazy?
universe?
Oh, A, love culottes. B, I wonder what it was about those culottes that Sophia so eagerly needed them for.
I I don't know. I mean, she needed him before Kate came. So, I mean, it's hot in Miami, I guess. Aren't culottes like really good pants to wear in the
Well,
Miami
they're
heat?
loose. They're
Yeah.
loose, yeah. And so, they're kind of like long shorts in a
Yeah.
way, long
We've
baggy
definitely never seen
shorts.
Sophia in culottes. That's because she never found them, I
Oh,
guess.
have we not?
I don't know.
No, I
Somebody
guess
show me a
not.
picture of Estelle Getty in culottes in Miami.
I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna Google it. Go
Yeah.
on.
So yeah, I just think it's really funny because like Kate is very obviously announcing that she's eloping, and Sophia's like, "Great, let's go." Poor Sophia. She
Yeah.
always wants to go to things and they don't let her. Like when she wants to go to Burt Reynolds, and they're like, "No." They always make her
She always
stay
gets the
home.
short end of the
She
stick.
always gets the short
Yeah.
end of the stick.
'Cause she's the
But
short one.
mm-hmm. Um, so, because she's the short one. Very good, very good. Do you wanna take another minute
No.
to wait for
I want a
for the
laugh
audience
track. I want a
applause to
laugh
die
track.
down?
If only we
Yeah,
had a laugh track.
we need a laugh
Maybe I could
track. We are a
I
laugh
can
track.
probably wait, I can probably make that happen. Hold on, here we go.
All right. Should I keep talking? Is this gonna take a minute?
I don't it says wait, can I? Oh yeah, here we go. Thank you.
Do you have that at the ready?
Riverside apparently does.
Do they have an ooh like when two of
Oh,
the teenagers kiss on
um,
Saved by the Bell?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know how to look for that. I don't know
Ooh,
what to
oh
type.
oh oh oh
I
oh oh oh
I
oh
put in
H.
Yeah, no, I put that in. I don't know. I got what else did they have?
Right,
They
right.
got
Type in when.
there we go.
No,
Some
no,
and then
no.
there's
Type in when.
chewing.
Type in when Kelly Bundy enters.
No, that doesn't work. This is like default sounds by
Ugh, ugh,
Riverside.
Riverside.
But
Everybody knows
I
what I'm
got
talking about when I say when Kelly Bundy walks in. That show would
they
like
do. They
pause
do.
because of the hooting and hollering. Okay.
It's true.
So Kate wants to elope because she doesn't want to have to deal with the discomfort of having her estranged parents in the same room together. I totally get. I respect. That
I
sounds like
get
it's
that
actually great
too.
for everyone.
Yeah.
But then Dorothy is like, "No, don't be silly. I've always wanted to walk you down the aisle." If I were Kate, I would have assumed that meant that like
Just elope,
Dorothy
girl.
wanted to
Just
fly to the
elope.
Bahamas
Yep.
and
Yep.
not you're going to throw me a reception in your friend's wicker-filled living room in Miami. Like no
Yeah.
offense. No
Yeah.
offense. It's a
No,
lovely house, but like getting married in the
it's
Bahamas, a
not a
trip we've
wedding
already paid for.
house.
No.
Yeah.
And how did they book a church to have their ceremony on 2 days notice? A church in Miami? Are there just that
I
many
mean,
churches where you can just get one last minute?
it is a very religious city, so maybe.
Yeah, okay,
Maybe.
maybe. I
I just bought
don't know.
tickets to a destination wedding, but the destination wedding is in the Midwest.
Yeah, I once went to a wedding destination. I guess you don't call it a destination wedding if it was just out of state. It wasn't really a destination wedding, but I once had to fly to Shenandoah, Iowa for a wedding, and it was
Well,
like
ooh.
cornfields.
Uh
And I was in my
what
20s and I
what's
liked to
interesting
party, so it sucked.
what's interesting about this destination wedding is one of the couple is from this city, but they don't live in that city currently. So they're clearly doing it so that all their family can come and it's like,
Sure.
close with the family situation. But it is technically a destination wedding if neither of the people getting married live in that city, right? So,
Yeah, yes.
yeah. So we're going. I'm going.
All right. Bring your culottes in case it's hot.
Oh, I
Also,
will.
why is it so hot in Los Angeles when it is right now at my in-laws, it's like 8 degrees there. And it
Yeah,
is going to
I have
be
the air
83
on.
degrees here tomorrow. I know, I've had the AC on today. Why?
Crazy.
Why? It is so
Crazy.
cold. There are
Crazy.
polar vortexes going on.
Yeah.
Snow
Yeah.
affecting like
Yeah.
21
Yeah.
states and it is 80
Yeah.
fucking degrees in Los
80
Angeles.
degrees. What is happening?
I
We
can't.
live in
I
LA.
don't like the weather here anymore. I'm so sorry
We
to
are on
anybody who's
so
lost
many
power and who's
tangents.
freezing. I know. Well, I've been
Sorry,
away.
everyone.
I've been
Yeah,
away. I have
we
a
have
lot to
we
say.
have a lot to catch
I
up
have a lot
on.
of snacks to eat in front of me. I have a lot to say.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
so Kate wants Stan to be at the wedding, so Dorothy promises to keep the peace with the yellow-bellied scuzzball, and she calls Stan to invite him, and I want to play that moment because I love this phone call so much.
If I can get through an entire wedding with him, I should be able to handle a simple phone conversation with that yellow-bellied sleazeball. Hello? Stan? Dorothy. Dorothy Zbornak. The one who gave you the best years of her thighs? Yes, I'm fine. Yeah, it has been a long time. Yeah, well, after 2 years, I figured you weren't coming back. Now, I'll tell you, the reason I'm calling you, Kate is getting married. Yes, married. Yes, in a few days. And I'm giving her a little wedding here in Miami, and I wanted to invite you. Can you come?
Okay, I was wondering this during the episode, because I didn't know this while watching it, but do you know the origins of the term yellow belly?
No.
I assumed it was racist, and I'm half correct. So in the British term yellow belly, it is it's a British one, and it's from Lincolnshire, England, linked
Ah,
to
yes,
eels, frogs,
Lincolnshire.
yeah, eels, frogs, and uniform facings. Okay. And an American one started in the 1840s that initially was a slur for Mexican soldiers in the 1840s, but later evolving into a general term for coward due to the color yellow being associated with treachery or fear. Yellow livered is another thing. So there you go.
Okay.
So
Well,
40% racist.
thank you for the history lesson.
There you go.
What I took away from this phone call is the idea that Dorothy had to say Dorothy Zbornak means that when she called, he went, Dorothy who? Which is such a dick move. Like,
I
he
know.
doesn't, you know what I mean? He was doing that on purpose. What's so great about this moment, though, is that we haven't even met Stan yet. We
And
haven't even
we
heard
have
his
such a
voice.
perception of him. Yeah.
We already have a perception of him. We can already tell how much he
Mhm.
sucks. Um,
Yes.
I also was curious to know what you think, and I'm curious to know too what our audience thinks. What do you think happened to Chrissy in a tanning bed that would not allow her to travel?
Well, I was thinking about that while
Because
watching
she's
it,
like, I
and
didn't know that could happen in a tanning bed. So it's something unexpected, not like, oh, she burned herself.
I mean, I assumed it was because of a burn that she couldn't, like, sit and stuff because that would prevent you from traveling then because you have to sit for a long period of time,
But doesn't Dorothy say, I didn't know that could happen from a tanning bed? Because to me,
which
that reads as
means
like some kind of Final Destination situation where like the tanning bed malfunctioned in some way look, I know Stan's got like 0.4 seconds to tell this story, but I don't know. Maybe it
yeah, I
was
don't
just a burn.
know. I just assumed it would have to be a burn. I don't know what else could happen, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen people do things on tanning beds before, but never that would make them be so injured unless you do it incorrectly.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
these are just the things I think about when I watch these episodes and I'm holding my baby. uh, Okay, another thought I had about this episode. When Dorothy and Sophia are packing the little satchels with rice, and
Mhm.
this was Blanche's idea, all I could think about is how crazy Blanche is for coming up with this. Cause like now she's going to have to clean all of that rice from her living
Yeah.
room, from her doorway. It's going to get
Oh my
stuck in
god, and
crevices.
that rice, I guarantee you they were cleaning that rice up during the last episode, like,
Yeah, they were still
of the
finding,
series.
yes,
Like,
yeah,
they were
yes.
still finding rice, although even when they changed lots, they were still
Still,
finding
they when
rice
they picked
in
up the sets and moved them, there was
I
rice.
guarantee you now, the show that is filming in that studio is finding rice.
They are finding rice. As a vacuum expert, what piece of
Yes.
machinery would you use to clean up that rice? What
So
attachment?
glad you asked that. I'm so glad you asked that because you would think one would turn to a handy vac situation, a smaller one that you can kind of get on your hands
That's
and
what I would
knees and you
do.
can kind of get in there. But no, 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 no. What you need is a Dyson with a assortment of attachments that I just happen to have right here. The
Do you
attachments,
really?
and you
Of
find
course you
I
do.
do, and I'm telling you, I love to vacuum.
I know you do.
I think the
I didn't
attachment
think
that
you were
I
going to have
need
a bag in front of you. You usually just have
so
makeup.
you use this extension part here. If you're listening, you can hear what it sounds like. And then you put it on so that way you can get the thing and you can kind of it
So
becomes a
what you're
handy
holding is like a
vac.
bendable hose for the people who aren't
Yeah, and
watching
it
this.
extends it so you can get into nice little crevices and stuff, you know?
Yeah. So
And
yeah, okay.
and yeah, and then or if you really want to get into the corners, you get the little turner thing here. So many options.
Whoa, I've never
But
seen attachments like that.
I'm telling you, I have so many attachments, not a euphemism. And so, yeah, you can get into all kinds of little nooks and crannies with these things. And that's what you really need. Because if you're doing it on your hands and knees, you need more length. You need more length and bend
Yeah.
to get into certain areas where rice can go. And
Mhm.
so you gotta get one of those long Dyson like the long or Shark. Shark has them too. Although I'm a Dyson. This is a Dyson family
I
here.
think I
Sorry.
have a
A little more expensive.
shark.
Yeah, sharks are good, don't get me wrong, I have a Shark hair dryer and I love it, but, like,
Oh,
I
I didn't know they
for
made
the
those too.
vacuum they have a great hair dryer, great diffuser.
Oh,
I
oh,
need
I
to,
do like a
like, just
diffuser.
I need to be a lifestyle YouTuber, I think. Yes, so, yeah, I do love a vacuum extension party
Okay, well, thank you for that
conversation.
because I was really curious, like, how are you gonna clean that rice?
Oh, I could
Okay,
clean it up so good.
I know you could. This is so random, but have you noticed that Estelle Getty delivers a lot of her lines in the same cadence in the first few episodes of the series? And maybe some of it's the writing, but like there's this cadence of like, my cab driver would fall in love. Fine, this
Yeah,
elf quits. Like this very, I don't know
mhm.
what it is. There's a very specific cadence that she has that I feel
Well,
like, you know,
we
I
talked about
rode
this
in
in
the
the last
cab. I didn't
episode
push
that
it.
Rose is still of all the characters in this series, I think Rose is the one that goes through the biggest development as a character over the course of this first and second season because while she is always kind of naive and a little ditzy, always, she's more headstrong in the first and second seasons than she went on to be in later seasons when they leaned into the naivete a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Well, if we remember from looking at the pilot episode, she was originally written as a hypochondriac. That was Rose's whole
Mhm.
deal. The original pilot, the one that didn't make it to
Mhm.
air. So yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if that had anything to do with it,
It
but
tracks.
and she was a little
Well,
bit more of a Debbie Downer too.
Let's ponder that a little bit. Oh God, I love Rose as a Debbie Downer. Let's ponder her as a Debbie Downer
I
during
know.
this break, and we'll be right back.
All
We'll be
right.
right back. He.
So then Kate arrives with Dennis number 1, whom Dorothy describes as beautiful and then moments later as gorgeous.
Yeah, not into Dennis. I think I
You know
was back
what?
in the day. Not into Dennis.
I had the exact opposite reaction. I was actually looking at him and I was like, wow, I've never noticed it before. This Dennis can get it. This Dennis is hot. He's got pillowy lips. He's got luscious hair. I was into it. I was like, this could be my Michael. Like, this could be my number one guy. I think he's also hot
Michael,
because he hasn't yet started calling her Mother Dorothy, which I think is gross. Do
yeah,
you
Mother
know
Dorothy.
Mother
Mother
Dorothy? I mean, that is Dennis number 2
Mother
that calls her that, but
Dorothy.
when he calls her
You
mother,
should
and she's
say
like,
it in
"Don't call
British
me Mother
accent.
Dorothy.
Mother Dorothy. Mother Dorothy.
I'm not handing out rice on the streets of Calcutta." So this guy, I looked him up. I don't know if we ever have before. His actual name is Dennis, which like I'm sure gets him into character in some capacity. Surely, I'm a Dennis. He's a Dennis.
Yeah.
He's not a dentist. He's a foot doctor.
No.
So
He's
this
a
Dennis,
podiatrist.
he's a podiatrist. He's a Broadway actor, but he's also a writer.
Oh.
This actor, he
Oh.
wrote 2 episodes of The Nanny, and he has a story by credit for Legally Blonde too. So,
well,
yeah.
Good
Anyway,
for him.
Anyway, he's hot. I love the women's different kind of like reactions to the reveal that he's a foot doctor. Like Dorothy's like, "Oh." And then Rose is really impressed. "Do you know Dr. Scholl?" And then Sophia's like, "Let's cut to the chase. How much money do you make?"
Which is where I would go. I am surprised that because if this was an episode, let's say later in the series, I think Blanche would have been attracted to Dennis.
He wouldn't be too young for her?
Do you know what I mean?
Just like George Clooney?
No. I don't think she'd hit on him. So that's what you were implying. But I think she would talk about her attraction to him.
Interesting. About like if she were to have like maybe some kind of foot fetish thing?
Well, no, I'm sorry. Not her attraction to him, but how attractive he is. I think she would focus. I think that would be the focus of the jokes is that I don't think she would ever try to flirt with him or encroach on anything.
There is a distinction. There is a distinction.
But I do think she would sexualize him in a way that would be complementary to him. Do you know what I mean?
I do. And I'm going to jump ahead for a second because I also realized this is the first episode. I didn't realize it was episode 2 of the series that we get the very first Blanche getting lost in a horny escape monologue where she goes
at the door with Rose.
Yeah, at the doorway. "We better stick to her like a tight shirt on a sweaty farmhand. You know, the type with the big biceps and the hairy chest just glistening in the hot sun." I'm sorry, what were we talking about? I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this is the establishment of horny Blanche the moment her loins were set ablaze." And then later, she gets horny thinking about a cabana boy in Pensacola who knew how to push her buttons. I didn't realize.
Honestly,
episode 2.
I can relate. To all of those things.
Anyway, so I love that. I loved the joke where Kate says to Dorothy, she's like, "Do you think Dad'll like him?" And Dorothy's like, "Of course, as long as he stays young and firm."
Yeah. I mean, she won't let it go, and I kind of love it.
Oh my God, I love all of her digs at Stan. So on the day of the wedding, her pink outfit, it feels like a revenge outfit to me. Like, I know Dorothy
For
doesn't wear a lot
Dorothy.
of tight fitting for Dorothy. She doesn't wear tight fitting. She doesn't wear low cuts,
Yeah.
but the sparkles, the earrings, the wide leg
'Cause
satin pant, like,
she's
it's hitting.
basically wearing, even though it's a pant, they're kind of culotte-y.
Yes, they are culotte. Mhm.
Yeah.
They're
They're not quite
culotte.
culottes because they're not short, but they're culotte-y.
They're culotte. Culotte adjacent,
Yeah.
if you may.
Culotte. Culotte .2.
Culotte. They're not quite a culotte. They're a culotte.
Culotte.
So,
They are a culotte.
culotte. A culotte. A culotte. The next clip we're going to play is the aggressive and
Yes.
abrupt way that we meet Stanley for the very first time, that we meet Herb Edelman. I
So
love that this is
iconic.
the way that they decide to
Oh,
introduce him to this series.
I love it so much. I love it so much.
Hi, it was real. Dorothy, it's Stan. Didn't you recognize me?
Of course I recognized you. That's why I slammed the door in your face.
It just
So
it sets up their
good.
dynamic. The slamming
Yeah.
of it's so fast. The timing of it was so
Mhm.
perfect. It's so funny. It's so
It's
funny.
just, it harkens back so much of this episode, I think, and this is probably why they did it. So much of this episode reminds me of Maude, of the way B. Arthur acted on Maude, the way she would react to things on Maude. And maybe that's why it is so early in the series, because they know a lot of people are excited that B. Arthur is back on television with a character like this.
Exactly. I really do. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
reason why her role was written as a B. Arthur type. B. Arthur was a force of
Mhm.
nature. And I think people were expecting to see a lot of B. Arthur. And for the pilot episode, Susan Harris was restrained. She really made it
Yeah.
feel like a true ensemble. But I think, yeah, for episode 2, it was
Mhm.
like the people are going to want B. Arthur. We need to give them B. Arthur. So, and it was
Yeah,
wonderful.
exactly.
I love when she says, I'd love for you to meet my ex-husband, Stan Spornak, and this is his hair. Like, again, those digs that she's taking at him are so
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe this is dumb. For the first time, realized Stan's wearing a lei around his neck. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, he came from Maui.
But like, every time I see this, now I get why they do it, because it places him where he came from. Like, I get it. But you don't get a lei coming from Maui.
Leaving.
You get a
Exactly.
lei
You get it going
into
to
Maui.
Yes. Yes. I had the
Yeah.
same thought.
So,
I was a little
like,
confused.
there's a great
Unless he just
multi-part
wears
episode of
them.
Mama's Family.
There's a what?
Maybe it's his thing. But like,
Maybe.
there's
Yeah.
a great Mama's Family, a couple episodes where first one, there's a 2-part episode where she gets on Jeopardy. And then there's like, I think
I
a
love
2 or
that.
maybe even 3-part, maybe a 2 or 3-part episode where she wins a trip on Jeopardy to Hawaii. And it's all about Hawaii. And then when they get there, they get a lei, and Mama's all like flustered by the. I mean, it is such.
Oh
It
my
is.
gosh, I want to see.
It's
I want to see
it's one of
her.
those.
I want to see Vicki Lawrence in Hawaii.
It's so good. I mean, the problem is none of the girls are in because it's the later seasons of Mama's Family, so it doesn't really work for Beyond or anything like that.
Mhm.
But maybe it'll be a Patreon watch. I don't know, but like, I do feel like I would love to watch an episode of Mama's Family in Hawaii with everybody. That would be so fun.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. This just unrelated, but it just reminded me. I just wanted to say this really quickly because I watched it while I was. I think did I watch it while I was in the hospital, like while I was having cocoa, maybe. But Pluribus, that show.
Oh yeah,
The
so
one
good.
the most relatable thing to me in Pluribus was the lead character. She has there's like no internet or anything anymore, I don't think, but she has
Mhm.
DVDs. She puts the Golden Girls
Yeah.
DVDs on
Uh-huh.
every single day. That is her comfort show. And there was a moment that was like so specific, and every Golden Girls fan who has the DVDs has experienced this, where you fall asleep on the couch or in your bed, you wake up and you've left your DVD in, and it's playing the music of the title page on the DVD. That was so specific, and I was like, this is genius. Anyway, I've been meaning to say this for a while. I just remembered it, but everybody go watch Pluribus if you have. I think it's on Apple, or get like 1 month. But there's
It's
like she's
so
constantly
good.
watching the Golden Girls on DVD. It's so great. Anyway, okay. Back
It's
to
a wildly good show, but yes, that's very
back to it.
relatable.
Another thing that I thought was so great at the wedding reception is when Dorothy gets so angry, she barks. The decision
Yeah.
to write in this script something along the lines of Dorothy is fuming so hard that she barks and growls like a dog is such a bold move to be like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they figured it out on the day. Maybe it was a director being like, you should growl, you should bark. But like, B. Arthur was a champ. She was like, yeah, okay, I'll bark. What, you want me to
Truly.
growl too?
I'll
I will
bark.
growl. You want me to growl like a rabid dog? I'll do it. She did
It's
it.
so good.
I know in the Roasty Anchor Happy Hour, we're going to rank the Golden Girls wedding dresses, but what did you think about Kate's wedding dress?
I thought it was cute. It reminded me a lot of like my mom's wedding dress, or like a lot of dresses you see from the 80s that like it's just very reminiscent of an 80s home wedding dress. You know what I mean? It just it makes sense, and it's and I support it. I like it. I mean, the 80s I don't think were a good era for wedding dresses. At all. I think the aughts are really when wedding dresses started to become like actual dresses and not just sort of like gaudy overstatements of a dress. But yeah, I thought it was fine. Really, if you
Yeah.
think about it, 70s, 80s, and 90s, bad eras for wedding dresses.
It's interesting to me how there's so much lace, but so much coverage at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what's always
She's
wild to me
fully
about those
covered.
dresses. She's fully covered, but there is a lot of lace. So,
Crazy.
once we're at the wedding reception, Dorothy gets in some really good digs on Stan. I love it when he's showing pictures of Chrissy at a luau, and she's like, "Is she the one with the apple in her mouth?" And then she tells Stan to take off his toupee and hold it up to Kate's chin to look like Abraham Lincoln. It was just
So good.
It was I loved her digs. They were so great. I loved the physical comedy when Dorothy's having a hard time and Blanche is like, squeeze my hand when you feel like you might lose control. That was a great moment of physical comedy when Dorothy's holding the knife and Rose pulls her into the kitchen. It's all great physical comedy.
I mean, it really
that
sets
scene.
up so much great interactions that this show is going to have going forward. It really gives you a teaser of like what these women are capable of and how great they are together.
It's also funny to picture
And
Dorothy
those cheese
going
balls.
the cheese ball runner.
Wait, no, please. I have something to say about the cheese balls. What were you going to say?
Dorothy, I love thinking of Dorothy holding a knife going out of the kitchen is just a funny juxtaposition to Sophia coming into the kitchen holding a knife when they do the Psycho episode. That's all. What about your cheese balls?
In December, I went to a holiday party at my good friend. I'm going to name drop, but it's a good name drop. Kimchi from Drag Race, and my good friend Kimchi's apartment. And she had a big white elephant sort of gathering thing. We bring a side dish and like you bring a gift and whatever. It was great. So many wonderful people were there. And Kim is so good. Kim is like, if you follow Kim online, she should be a podcast guest someday. But like if you follow Kim, she's a good foodie. She appreciates food. She loves food. And she had this one friend bring a dish that was a crab rangoon dip. But imagine it as a dip.
Describe it to me.
With like a wonton chip.
Wait a minute. What was
It's
her
just
friend's
crab
name?
rangoon. I don't want to say.
Okay, but it wasn't
But
it wasn't Elise who wrote Big Dip Energy.
No.
Have you seen this book?
No, it's not her.
Okay. Everybody, if you like dips, get Elise's book. It's called Big Dip Energy. She's been a guest judge on Chopped and stuff. She's amazing. She loves dips. I met her at a friend's house and I have her book and I've made her dips and they're amazing.
Well, I love a dip. I love a dip.
I love a dip. A dip just enhances vegetables, any kind of chip. Put it in a little pita.
But her cheese balls made me think of the crab rangoon dip that
I want crab rangoon dip. As I said, I've been
episode.
snacking this entire podcast. I apologize if anybody can hear me eat because I did not eat dinner.
I can't wait to eat my dinner after this. I can't wait to eat dinner.
I couldn't wait. I love Sophia talking about the priest. She's like, he's giving me the creeps. He's been following me. They always follow the old people. I love that.
I mean, there are so many great moments. And also Sophia's makeup. I mean, she looks so cute
I love her
at
lipstick.
this wedding.
I feel like
cute.
they never give her like a proper,
very bright.
like that was a pink.
Very
a bright
bright.
pink. Yeah,
Yes.
they never did it again.
Yeah, she looked great.
I also
Yeah.
thought, Sophia had a lot of great jokes and stuff, but I love that they got a little serious with the scene with Sophia and Dorothy, where Dorothy doesn't come
Yeah.
out of her room and she's like, you can't just live with
Mm-hmm.
anger. It's like a piece of shredded wheat. And it's a great establishment of what their dynamic is going to be like in the series, because at this point
Yep.
they know now Estelle Getty is going to be a main character. Because remember, Estelle Getty was only going to be a recurring guest star on this show because they had Coco, and Coco was going to be there every
Mm-hmm.
episode. So the fact that by episode 2, they're like, Estelle Getty is here to stay. She's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a main character. Let's really establish what their dynamic is going to be. And it's really great. It is that
Mm-hmm.
Sophia is the wise, wisdom truth teller, and she's going to do it in her own little
Yeah.
weird way. I love that. I love that.
So
It's
great.
again, this is a
So
perfect
great.
episode of television. So
But
Kate and
it does all
Dennis.
culminate in that. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to say that Kate and Dennis leave to go on their honeymoon, and I think what you're going to say, it all culminates maybe into the
And
scene.
it culminates in that
Yeah.
speech. That
Mhm.
speech. The speech. I said goodbye, Stanley. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very Maude. It's very dramatic. I almost don't want to say a lot because of our golden takeaway.
Mhm.
Because I don't feel like I don't feel like there's a lot to say about this other than it's an amazing performance by B. Arthur, an incredible performance by B. Arthur, and then to have it followed by that perfect angle of that shot of Stanley leaving, and then all the women rushing out to the lanai, and B. Arthur is shot from an angle that looks very artistic at first. Like you think there's it's like an art shot, but then it's an almost like you learn then obviously it's a setup for a joke, but the shot is just so unique for Golden Girls.
I also loved in this monologue that B. Arthur cries. She tears up. And I don't
Mhm.
think, while the women have a lot of emotional moments on this show, I don't think any of them ever cry, like where we see
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Even maybe
Yeah.
Sophia during Phil's funeral, maybe, but like this is a moment where she had tears in her eyes. She was accessing these emotions. And the camera pushed in on her. Like the camera was tight on her. So,
Yeah.
I loved it. And also, you know, one thing that's also great about this big monologue is because it's also a really great way to establish the history of Dorothy and Stan up to this point, because the writers could have done it in like a
Mhm.
late night cheesecake scene where Dorothy explains to the girls, well, the reason why I have such a hard time with Stanley is because he didn't even blah, 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 but it's so much more impactful when it's Dorothy pouring her heart out to Stan in her pursuit of, I don't even think she's necessarily trying to get him to take accountability for anything that he's done. I don't think she's looking for an apology. I think she feels so
Yeah.
angry, and it's just like, these are just the things I need you to know, and that's it. And that's all Dorothy really needs to start moving
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the hair, she stole the hair.
And then she stole the hair. Yeah, we end on a
Yeah.
toupee joke. I think it's a perfect episode of television. And again, the women come for her
It really
they
is.
support her, they comfort her, and this is what the show is going to be. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So good. Well, should we take a break and come back with our golden takeaways?
Yeah, let's do it because we have a very special golden takeaway.
Yay. And we're back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your lives or the lives of our listeners. This week, neither of us have a golden takeaway because there's only one golden takeaway that matters. Isn't that right, Kerri?
That's right. Do you want to tell everybody what it is?
No, I don't think so. I think we should just play it, right?
Well, I think we should say, I mean, everybody will know who it is.
Yeah, so we don't even need to set it up. Let's just play it.
Okay. Everybody enjoy this golden takeaway.
From our live show a couple of years ago. Here you go.
You walked out on me, Stanley Spornak. You walked out on me and you didn't even have the decency to tell me you were leaving. I had to hear it from some lawyer over the telephone. A stranger. A total stranger told me my marriage was over. Things happened. You're damn right things happened. 38 years happened. 38 years of sharing and crying and dreaming and fighting and loving and children and diapers and school plays and Little League and worrying if you'd get through your gallbladder surgery. Wondering if I'd get through another Sunday dinner at your mother's house. And the lean years when the business failed. And the good years and the happy Christmases. All of those things happened, Stanley. And because they happened, I deserve more than a stinking phone call from my husband's legal representative. You had a choice, Stanley, and you took the easy way out, and it was a rotten thing to do. But now you're here in front of me. You can't run away. And I finally get to have what you tried to cheat me out of. I finally get to say, goodbye, Stanley. Ah! I said, goodbye, Stanley.
I mean, Alaska, there's literally no one else who could do that monologue. And then, of course, she parlayed that monologue into her doing a Dorothy Spornek version of I Want to Know from Alanis Morissette, which
I
was
Want to
perfect,
Know?
and the
Wait a
crowd went
minute.
crazy.
Sorry.
Or no, what is it called?
What's the
What is
name
it
of the
called?
song?
I ought to know. You ought to know. You ought to know.
I want to know. I ought to know. You ought to know.
I want to know. I want to know.
I
Thank you.
want to know. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to sing it. Although I can sing that song. I can sing that album like all the way through. I know every song. Just not the
I do
titles,
too.
clearly.
Of course. I was a perfect. I think I was in like 8th grade when that came out. Oh, that album. Okay.
Yeah, same.
Yes.
Same.
Yes.
Oh,
That was
that album's
Alaska.
so
That was
good.
Alaska at our live show. And oh my gosh, did she slay that monologue? It was such a big hit with the
She
crowd. I loved it.
slayed.
It was great. Nobody can do
Slayed.
Dorothy like Alaska.
Nobody. Well, Jackie beat, but that's another conversation.
Sure. Another conversation. Wow. It's great to be back. This has been super, super fun, everyone. We will catch everyone back here next week for more Golden Girls greatness. And remember, you can go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Golden Girls podcast. You get ad-free episodes. You get bonus episodes every week. We do the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. You get full interviews with cast and crew that we've interviewed for the podcast. You get so much great stuff. Live watch along shows, video versions. There's just so much great stuff. So check us out. You can support us over there.
So much great stuff. And we are a part of Mom, Moguls of Media. So go to support Mom Plus. We're also on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, out of the Lanai on Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on Facebook, and I'm HAlanScott /Sadie Pines on everything.
I'm not really on the socials much anymore, guys, so I'm going to stop plugging it. If you want to do something else nice for the podcast, you can leave us a rating and review because it helps more people discover our podcast and join our lovely kick-ass community of Golden Girls fans.
And remember,
as always, stay golden.
Stay golden. Stay golden. Stay golden.
I want to know.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.